Hey there, welcome to this Halloween vampire acrylic painting lesson. I'm Mike Ferris. I'm going to be getting started on my 11 by 14 inch pre-stretched canvas. And as you can see, my image is already laid out. And if you'd like help with this drawing process, I do have this traceable image available down below in the description box, as well as colors and materials, and also a short video on how I transfer images to my canvas. Okay, so now I have my number 16 flat brush. I'm going to start in the background with this. And on my palette, I'm going to have Phthalo Blue, some raw umber, a big gap for now, and titanium white down here as always. So in the background, I want to make my own black as opposed to the bat. So I'm going to get this blue and brown together. That makes a very dark Payne's gray, and it's very close to black, but there's a slight blue hue to it that makes a difference, I believe, between the bat in here with permanent black that I'll be using versus the Payne's gray black that I'm going to have in the background. So I'll just start filling in the background with this dark value like so. Okay, and without cleaning now, I'm just going to take some titanium white, and I want to get kind of this light gray, Payne's gray sort of color here. It's got a slight blue hue to it. You can barely notice, but it makes all the difference for realism effects and just getting everything to look more full and pop this way. So all these little things matter in the end. So just right there, going to strike that. Now I've got some yellow medium that I've added to my palette. This is just to give somewhat of a tone of green and kind of a glow that happens when the light hits through the window that's going to be here. So I'm just going to take some blue now and raw umber and some of that yellow together. And now I want to get some titanium white. And so again, it's going to be this kind of blue hue with a green tint to it, sort of kind of value. And I'll just block this in. And right here, I just kind of want to tap it, kind of show some brush that's outside, maybe some bushes through the window. Okay, just anything you want to do. There's no right or wrong. It's just background. And if you want to make these solid without brush, you can totally do that. So as you saw there, just getting more blue and brown for a darker value. And I want to start filling in just some more stuff with this dark value like so. Alrighty, no cleaning necessary. I'm going to take now some titanium white, and I want to go back into that greenish Payne's gray kind of value here. I'm going to get a little bit more blue and yellow. Let's get a little bit more white. Okay, for a light, kind of like I said, greenish, kind of very light, dull turquoise kind of color. Very small hint of it, and let's get a little bit more yellow to warm that up. Okay, something about this value here. And let's go in here. I'm going to strike some more highlight stuff. You can see it's a little bit more vibrant. And right here, I just want to use the side of the brush and blend that up into that darker value there. If I go like that, it's going to bring the value up a little bit further, and I don't want to bring it up more. I just want to dust it out and blend it pretty much right here where it goes. And of course, if I get outside of this blending zone, I can always come back with that dark value and cover it back over and actually fade that back in to the light value. Okay, so with that same value, I'm just going to fill in the rest of the windows with this. Okay, leaving a gap in the left-hand plane up there, I'm just going to get some blue and brown again for that dark black Payne's gray color. Just a little bit of that light gray color into it so it's not completely dark. And right in here, I'm just going to fill in for the rest of the window seal like so. And with that same value, I'm just going to fill in just some areas here and there up here. Okay, I'm switching to my number or 2-inch flat brush here. I'm just going to use this. It's going to help me cover more ground a little bit quicker. And I won't go all the way to the edge because I don't want to go into my traceable with this, but just kind of close to the up to the edges, and then I can use my smaller brush, but I really just want to get this ground filled in a little bit quicker. So a little bit darker there on the left, as you saw, and now just kind of working this up. Okay, back to my number 16 flat brush now. I'm going to go all the way up to the edge of the traceable now, because I can get in obviously with more precision and spare my traceable this way. And so, as you can see, just using the edge and the corner of the brush and just going around the rest of the traceable like so. Okay, and so with the rest of that dark value, I'm just going to dance this brush randomly. There's no right or wrong. Just kind of throw it in there, squiggle it around. And this is going to create some wall texture in the distance and also help to set the stage for some fog. So without cleaning now, I'm just going to take some titanium white. Okay, maybe a little bit more yellow to brighten that up and give it that warm glow. And now let's add some blue into there for that slight kind of greenish, kind of blue build down tone to it. Okay, I believe that just kind of adds more of a glow and more of a shine from the light coming in through the window and everything. So again, I'm going to hit some highlight areas like so. Okay, just kind of in this area, you can see now a little bit brighter. And again, with the side of my brush, just lightly dusting it out and even using my finger, and you can see how it just blends in really nice. And also right up here around the bat where he's going to be black in this area, this is going to really contrast off of the shape of him and then the light that's illuminating down here in this area. And then again, I want to dance this light value into this dark and really just create some fog effect and also some wall kind of texture in the background. Okay, so just play this in, and I'm not worried about how neat it is. I can cover back over and knock back some of that white and also the black and just really go back and forth and build it up and really just go for it and not worry about how neat it is. And the more times I do this with more layers, the better it gets and the smoother and just more effective it becomes. Okay, after working some tones back and forth there on the bottom right, I'm going to go back into that blue and that brown for that dark value now. And up here, just want to streak in this indication of kind of this arch sort of building structure here in the background. I have this kind of picture in my head where the bat is Count Dracula and he comes home and the light is starting to hit from the day starting, and he better get his butt into his coffin soon. So he's home now and about to do that. So I'm just going to get some titanium white, and I didn't clean my brush. And again, I want to just dust it up and of course go around my traceable, and just shows the light kind of really illuminating in like that. You got some shadow play, and that gives indication to the three-dimensional arch that's kind of on top over the window. So just filling in the rest of these now and making them a little bit brighter. Okay, and with the value left on my brush, I just again want to dance this in down here and just show some more fog effect. And also right here, just going to streak in this little window ledge like so. Okay, and just finishing that value from the brush off into this area up here and just kind of showing some light hitting as well in this area. Okay, now I'm going to go into my 3/4 flat brush now to block in our bat, and with this I'm going to take now, I've added some permanent black and some violet right here for some highlight. And I'm basically just going to work in general values where they go. So I'm going to start with permanent black, just kind of load it up and sort of wiggle it through and pull it through. It brings it to a nice chiseled edge, and I can use the edge and the tip very well and get into some pretty precise areas. You can also use an angle brush, which I recommend, and that works excellent for getting in small details like so. And I just am going, like I said, to go into the traceable and basically just fill in where generally these values go for now. Okay, and right here you'll notice I'm going to leave a a little bit of a gap here on purpose to show the difference between where his head is and where his wing is, since both are with permanent black. And anywhere that I have two values that come together that are different parts of the bat, I'm going to leave a little gap, like I said, and in this way I won't lose the traceable, and I'll fill in the appropriate colors as I move along. Okay, without cleaning now, I'm going to take some titanium white, and I'm just looking for, again, these are just general colors, and of course I'll work more values on top, but just base color for now. And with this general tone of gray, let's block in right here on the arm of the other wing there, and also on some of the face like so. Alrighty, I'm not going to clean again. Now I'm going to take some of this violet now, and let's get some titanium white, and let's get a little bit of permanent black to dull that down. And I'm looking for kind of a semi-medium to light, dulled, very dulled lavender color. This is a highlight color now for the wing, and again, just base color and just fill in this area in. Alrighty, no cleaning necessary, and I've got my number 6 angle brush now, and I'm going to go into permanent black, and I want to reinforce these areas of the wing. Alrighty, now I have my number 2 nylon flat beat up brush, and this is perfect for blending. I'm going to start doing some lighter tones within the wing here. Okay, so I'm going to grab again some more of that violet, and let's dull that down again with permanent black, and this time I want some more titanium white to make it even brighter. Okay, so very light, very dull lavender, and I want to apply the paintbrush where I want it the heaviest and the brightest, so that way it shows up the strongest. So right here in the center of the wing, and then what I'm going to do is from there just drag it out into that darker value as I use light pressure on my brush and less paint on the brush, of course, from laying it down, and that just blends everything in super nice this way. Okay, and without cleaning, I'm going to take even more white now, so I want an even lighter value. And again, it's all about the differences and getting realism to pop and show, and I want this wing a little bit brighter as it shows the light that's hitting this one a little bit stronger than the upper ones, just from the direction the light's coming in through the windows. And in this way, like I said, it really gives realism when you don't have everything that's playing the same exact value or thickness or tone or opaqueness, or is opaqueness a word? Anyway, you know what I mean, transparent more than another value or whatever. So all of these things planned, as you can see there, it looks like it's got more body. Okay, and so right here as well, I want to take and do kind of these triangular little things here that just shows, again, some more light kind of sneaking in down here and showing more effect of his body this way. Okay, no cleaning. I'm going to take now some permanent black, just a little bit on my number 2 beat up flat brush, and Right here on this gray value, just kind of want to dance it in just here and there, but not everywhere, and just start to really create some texture on his arm like so. Okay, no cleaning. I'm going to take now again some permanent black, and let's go into some raw umber and phthalo blue for that dark black Payne's gray color. And let's fill in the rest of the background, and I'll just get this around the wing like so. And also right here, I'm going to create some more body to the wing. So one of these little kind of shadows to show kind of a bend. Okay, and then also with that value left on my brush, I'm just going to lightly dust it right here. And as you can see, it's not as dark as that permanent black. And again, this just creates body and differences. And in this way, it creates realism, 3D, dimension, texture, all of those things. Okay, and again, around this as well. Alrighty, going back to my number 6 angle brush, I'm going to just take just pure titanium white now. And again, I love this brush for its precision with those angled bristles out of the way, giving me that nice edge and the tip, and I can really get some precision. So with that, I'm going to take the very tip, as you can see here, and just really strike some fine highlights, and this really brings in the crisp kind of outline of his body here. And I'll just make some striking highlights and kind of work this in here and there, just like so. Okay, as you can see here, I'm just going to leave a gap and kind of have a broken up kind of a highlight line that really shows some texture and realism. See, kind of like that. You don't want to have a super solid line throughout the whole thing, or else it just looks too cartoony and, not real kind of thing. You know what I mean? Realism has some imperfections. So again, striking above that shadow as you saw. Okay, and also right here, just going to show some light kind of hitting underneath. And then also over here as well, just kind of hitting some highlight stuff there, and also a little bit with the tip, just going to work some of these striking highlights and show some texture and some body like so. And also, I'm going to strike the feet, and as you'll see with the highlights, it's really nice to be able to use these highlights to show texture and detail and exactly what the shape is made, from, or how the surface is. So as you can see here, just kind of tapping this in, and it really just brings out the realistic look of the edge of the feet and really enhances its details with these highlights. Okay, after some face highlights, let's go now. I'm going to use the very edge and the tip and strike some hairs that are being hit by the light. See, just like this. And I'm not going to, again, worry about how neat it is. I can always take black and knock back anything I don't like. And of course, add more white back if I knock too much back. So I'm really just going to go for it and not worry about it. This is super freestyle, and pretty much anything goes until I like what I see. Okay, I'm going to get my script liner brush now for some finer lines and details, and I'm going to get lots of water in it with permanent black. As I pull it, I'm going to turn it. It brings it to a nice sharp tip. And with that, I'm just going to go and, like I said, knock back some of this white. See, super easy. I can use it to thin out some of those lines. So again, not worried about it. I just wanted to get the white up there in its general location and in its general way and general shape. And I can really use this fine detailed script liner brush with permanent black to knock it back and make it more defined and really detail exactly what I want. And again, I can play back in the white if there's too much black and vice versa, and really just do what I want. So again, lots of water, titanium white with a clean brush, pulling it through as I turn it to a nice tip. And right here, I want to work in some more hairs and detail stuff. And also under the chin, you'll see just the very tip, and I can really get these fine little lines and really show some nice hair details like this. Okay, more white, and right up here, as you'll see, it's going to be heavier on the white and thicker as I come to the top of the head. And in this way, it shows more of a three-dimensional look to the bat and just how the light's hitting him and all of that. So also up here on his back, just going to show a separation on the ear and the rest of the body there. And again, same thing, just using the tip and doing these fine little hairs. Okay, again, permanent black. Let's work this back in one more time. And as you can see, I can create little shadowed areas and again, leave more white in other places. And again, this builds texture. This shows 3D look and effect and really just brings this to life. And of course, the more times you work this back and forth, the easier and better it gets. And the more defined and everything starts to become. Okay, so back to my number 6 angle brush and just titanium white, loading that up. And again, I want to go in and just reinforce and brighten up some of these highlights. Alrighty, let's fill in the eye now. And what I'm going to do is I've added to my palette some permanent red and some Cad Orange. I almost said yellow. There's my yellow over there. Okay, I'm going to take some raw umber now, and I'm going to grab some of that permanent red. I'm going to use a very dark maroon color, and I'm going to warm them up a little bit with some orange and some yellow. As you'll see here, it's kind of a warm, kind of reddish brown color here. Okay, so with that, I'm just going to go in with my number 2 flat brush, and I'll just fill in the eye with this general color for now. Now I'm going to take some red, some orange, and now a good scoop of yellow now. I want to get this very warm, reddish orangey color here. Okay, just kind of something like this, and I want to go back over that dark value that I did and just pretty much play that in the heaviest, up in the upper right part of the eye, and just kind of drag it down. Okay, now I have my number 3 nylon round brush. I'm going to use the tip on that to get more finer details. And I'm going to go into some yellow and just a little bit of orange, much more yellow than orange. And I really just want to get a nice warm kind of orangey color without it being, regular orange. I want it warmed up by the yellow just a little bit. And right in here, just kind of want to apply this value and kind of fade it into that darker stuff a little bit. Okay, just kind of like this. Okay, no cleaning. I'm going to take some yellow medium now. Okay, just by itself, and there's a teeny bit of orange that I want to put back in there, just a little bit. Okay, just kind of something like that, and let's get some more yellow into that now. So I want it more yellow now, of course, than orange, but the orange is just there to kind of make the yellow a little bit more vibrant. Okay, and just with the tip again, I just want to go in some of this value. I don't want to take over the whole thing, but see how it kind of creates that glow in the eye, just like that. Okay, now just titanium white, and I'm just going to put it right in the center and brighten that just like that. Alrighty, with my script liner brush now, lots of water and titanium white, I'm going to sign right here, and I want to thank you so much again for following along. Don't forget to subscribe if you dig these lessons, and any questions or comments you have, please drop those down below. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll do my best to answer anything. And with that said, I want to wish you guys a happy Halloween and a happy painting to you.